Tonight, the mystery surrounding a police pursuit with a vehicle ending up in the water near Napanee. Floodwaters have homeowners watching the clock and hoping things don't worsen before tomorrow. Plus, Ottawa Charge take their game to OT victory, but playoff hopes depend on another game. Good evening. We begin in the Greater Napanee area tonight as we wait for further developments on a police chase that may have ended in tragedy. So far, we have confirmation the vehicle entered the waters of Lake Ontario just before 11 o'clock last night. But we don't know how many people were inside at the time or if any of them made it out, but are just missing. According to authorities, though, Ontario Provincial Police tried to stop a driver on Bath Road around 10:55 p.m. Tuesday. Police say the vehicle then entered a ditch, went into Lake Ontario near Highway 33 and County Road 21, and became submerged. Here's what else we know for certain. Police divers could be seen searching Lake Ontario earlier today. Roads in the area were closed as this investigation continues and is now beyond 24 hours from when it first happened. A search and recovery unit is involved, suggesting this is not a rescue operation. Because Ontario Provincial Police were involved in the events leading up to the vehicle entering the water, Ontario's Special Investigations Unit, also known as the Provincial Police Watchdog, is invoking its mandate and taking the lead on finding answers. So far, no specifics on why a traffic stop was attempted in the first place, but we can also say the vehicle entered the water near the Ontario Power Generation's Lennox Generating Station. In the meantime, the flood warning has yet to end for those living along the Ottawa River. Right now, it appears Gatineau residents are at a higher risk, some seeing no choice but to pack up and leave their homes, hoping for the best once they return. Here's CTV's Austin Lee.
Water levels stabilizing in Gatineau Wednesday, but not before damaging homes and forcing some to call emergency crews to help them get out. Others putting their chest waders to work.
We got to be prepared because, it's disgusting water. It's sewer water, so we're not going to just walk in it.
For Andrea Morin, it's a familiar scene in this area. She's been through it before, and she's had enough.
I'm not going to stay. It's my last flood. I'm moving out in a couple of months, so that's it for me. It's a lot.
The city of Gatineau says 12 people have voluntarily evacuated their homes and nearly 500 buildings are at risk of being affected by flooding, with 46 roads impacted by the rising water. The peak water level is down 15 centimeters from the city of Gatineau's previous forecast, but people are still on high alert.
Oh, man. Man, I'm telling you, I prayed, okay? I pray. I'm a man of God. I prayed for not receiving all of that water.
Marcel Barbier is somewhat of a flooding veteran, having lived through floods in 2017, 2019, and 2023.
2017, the basement was full. There was water halfway to the driveway, and it was like missing a feet before it hits the kitchen floor. The basement was flooded, man. Everything was floating in water. That was bad.
And while it appears the worst of this flood has already hit, officials are urging residents to stay vigilant.
It's very hard to say exactly what will come next, but what we know for sure is that there is always 2 periods of time where the water rises, so there will be a second flooding. To what extent, we don't know.
For now, those like Barbier are hunkering down and trying to stay positive.
So far, so good. Like I said, we want to keep it up that way, Everybody's happy, stressed, but happy.
Austin Lee, CTV News.
The Ottawa River's high water levels are also disrupting ferry service in the capital's East End. The Travesseries Bourbonnais, which runs between Cumberland and Masson, is currently suspended. The owners say the ferry will only start running again when water levels decrease. And a flood warning is now in place for sections of the Mississippi River watershed. The warning applies to Dalhousie Lake, about half an hour west of Perth. The Conservation Authority says water levels could rise an additional 10 centimeters before end of day tomorrow. We have extended flood coverage on our website. Keep checking ctvnewsottawa.ca. And here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The temperature right now is 11 degrees as Jackie Perez tells us what else we can expect weather-wise. Jackie.
Well, our double-digit temperatures continue for the rest of this week. Even when you look at conditions, we're anticipating mainly clear skies for the overnight into tomorrow morning. Lots of sunshine in store for our Thursday. Maybe a bit of cloud cover by the time we get to the later part of the evening. But for the most part, you can leave the umbrella at home. Temperatures getting up to about 15 degrees for our Thursday. Again, very similar to what we saw today. We'll get a closer look at your long-term forecast in just a bit.
Thank you, Jackie. New tonight, we learned of a blaze that started with the hedges but spread to a home off Woodruff in the West End. Firefighters say they spent more than an hour trying to get it under control. The home is located on Andover Place, east of Woodruff and south of Baseline Road. We're told the 911 calls started coming in just before 4 o'clock this afternoon. Ottawa paramedics say one person was treated for minor injuries at the scene and did not need to be taken to the hospital. The cause is under investigation. In other news, an Ottawa teen has been found guilty of terrorism charges in connection with a plot to attack Jewish people. The teen cannot be identified because of his age. A judge found him guilty of possessing explosive substances, conspiracy to commit murder through a terrorist group. Also, Ottawa police need your help finding a suspect after a stabbing in Bell's Corners today around 12:45 p.m. According to paramedics, the victim was found behind the McDonald's near Robertson Road and Moody Drive. He was brought to hospital in critical condition but is expected to survive. Police say the suspect fled the scene, is still at large, but that there is no known risk to public safety. Sticking with crime, a fourth person is facing charges in connection to the death of a Smiths Falls man. Robbie Thompson went missing in October 2023. His remains were found at a property near Smiths Falls last fall. OPP previously charged 3 people with first-degree murder. Now a fourth, Mark Fenton, is being charged with accessory after the fact. And police are looking for witnesses to a fatal crash we first reported last night. It happened at Woodruff Avenue and Slack Road around 5:20 p.m. Tuesday and involved an SUV and sedan. We now know that it's a woman who died of her injuries at the scene. 3 others were injured. Anyone with information or dash cam footage is asked to contact police immediately. The 19-year-old charged in the hit-and-run death of an Ottawa crossing guard is now facing a new charge. Xander Wright was initially charged with failure to stop after an accident causing death after 55-year-old Peter Clark was struck and killed in Barrhaven on March 23rd. Police say they've now laid an additional charge of dangerous operation causing death, which is more serious. Wright remains in custody and is expected to enter a plea next week. Well, less than a week after announcing its purchase, the Ontario government has sold its controversial private jet. Premier Doug Ford says the plane was sold to Bombardier for exactly what the government paid for it, nearly $29 million. CTV Siobhan Morris has these details.
All right, look at right here, guys.
It was around this time last week the Ford government was finalizing the $29 million purchase of a Bombardier jet. Then came roaring public anger, plans to give the plane up, and a defense of the decision. At a speaking event in Toronto Wednesday,
I can announce we sold the plane for the same price right back to Bombardier and said, okay, you take it back.
A 10-year-old 12-seat Challenger similar to this one. Bombardier confirms it has bought the jet back from the government. They won't talk money, citing a confidentiality policy.
This is easy to settle. Just show us the bills.
The Premier has promised to make the details public.
In terms of the actual documents and appropriately and as the time frame allows, when it happens, they'll be disclosed.
But the government isn't ready to lay it all out right now. At a conference in Thunder Bay,
I took a commercial flight just like everybody else does.
NDP leader Marit Stiles is asking the Auditor General for a value for money audit of the plane purchase. Shelley Spence's schedule already full for the rest of the year. Doug Ford has made clear he still thinks Ontario needs a jet.
Time is money, And that's what it comes down to.
Stressing the plane wasn't intended for his use alone, something not mentioned in the government's first statements.
Fly firefighters up, it was for Ontario Corps, it was for OPP when they have to send a tactical team.
Many smaller communities the premier's talked about reaching aren't equipped to land a Challenger.
He sold the plane because he got caught. But now with FOI changes, with Bill 5, he's not going to get caught.
For opposition parties, selling the plane back doesn't mean the story's over.
He bought a luxury private jet when people are hurting. And that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing for all of us to remember. We're not going to let him forget it.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
1:18 to go in overtime. Savalainen is in for Ottawa, plays it back, Jenner scores!
From politics to sports now, what an overtime winner from Ottawa's Brianne Jenner. The Charge were taking on the Boston Fleet tonight. And while this 2-1 OT win keeps them playoff contenders, they are not out of the woods just yet. Saturday's game against Toronto is what's needed to truly punch their ticket.
The playoff atmosphere on top of that, it's gonna be rocking in there tomorrow night.
Coming up, Sens playoff fever in the air, but some say they're waiting for it to infect the masses as the series heads to Ottawa tomorrow night. Stay with us. A quick live look at the Queensway this hour. Not much to report in that regard, but if you joined us last night, you would have heard us warn that drivers were concerned about potholes once they exited Highway 417. And so check this out. OPP say several vehicles have been damaged after hitting a very large pothole on Saint Laurent Boulevard. The pothole was just before the Highway 417 eastbound on-ramp. Police say at least half a dozen vehicles sustained tire or rim damage. Now for a closer look at the forecast, here's Jackie.
Well, it was a gorgeous day in the capital. A lot of people heading out and about to the patio. Overnight conditions dropping down to about 1 degree, but the clear skies will carry us into tomorrow morning where, yes, we will see another double-digit day, anticipating 15 degrees for the daytime high. Sunny skies as well. When it comes to the wind, pretty calm, about 15 kilometers per hour coming from the northwest. Tonight's lows throughout eastern Ontario still hovering around the freezing mark, so 0 in Pembroke and Bancroft, about 1 degree along the Seaway. And as we look to Mont Tremblant, about -1, Maniwaki sitting around -2. Tomorrow's daytime highs, yes, really for eastern Ontario, we're looking at double-digit temperatures hovering between 13 and 15 degrees. Mainly sunny skies in store. This will extend into our Friday as well. Maybe we even see more sunshine moving through. And again, not much in terms of cloud cover, even when we come into the afternoon. Now, taking a look at the next 7 days temperature-wise, we are going to be averaging about 15 degrees for our Thursday, 13 for Friday and Saturday. Pay attention to those overnight lows Saturday into Sunday. That's when we're going to start to see the warm-up begin. So 4 degrees overnight, daytime high 15 degrees. It will likely not be until Tuesday that we could see precipitation returning here to eastern Ontario.
Thank you, Jackie. The Ottawa Senators are back at the Canadian Tire Centre tomorrow for Game 3 against the Carolina Hurricanes. CTV's Tyler Fleming has more on fans getting excited for this playoff series.
One day out, Adam running, making a pre-game purchase.
Shopping for playoff merch.
With the Ottawa Senators returning to home ice Thursday, fans are gearing up for a big night.
Being together, having fun.
And so is the team. Inside the CTC, the Sens hitting the ice for practice, preparing to fight back from a 2-0 deficit.
We got a lot of confidence and we're excited to get in front of our fans.
But the team has a solid record of winning here, and a loud home crowd will fuel that.
Played some good hockey, and then the playoff atmosphere on top of that. It's gonna be rocking in there tomorrow night.
And this year, there's even more energy feeding the excitement.
We're going to be delighting every fan that comes in.
With a big list of new playoff snacks like Sparty's spicy foot-long dog, this chocolate mousse hockey puck, or an aquarium-sized cocktail.
Different spins on different things that we're trying to do, but at the same time, make it really exciting for the fans to enjoy different things that they haven't had all season.
And for the first time, a 300-level beverage and food market.
Hot dogs, nachos, pretzels, and popcorn, just to name a few.
Faster access means fewer fans missing shifts while waiting in line.
The Mashkin units, the grab and go, makes it very, very fast and user friendly to get in and to get out.
Outside, the CIBC Red Zone turns into a full playoff watch party, free, starting at 4:30. And you can keep cheering on the Sens post-game. If you're here outside the CTC, don't forget to look up, way up. A drone show will light the sky.
We're going to have 50.
Local company Capital Drone Show is behind the massive launch.
They're all going to be flashing their lights and putting on quite a big show. We're aiming for 12 minutes.
It's a full playoff experience on and off the ice. Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
I was working until the day before. My first delivery, I was literally in the operating room the day before.
Coming up, taking care of caregivers, a new conversation about the sacrifices of expecting and new mothers. A basketball phenom with ties to the nation's capital is taking her game to the pros. CTV's Kimberly Fowler tells us more about Cassandra Prosper and her WNBA hoop dreams.
From Capitol Courts to the U.S. Capitol.
With the 19th pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Washington Mystics select Cassandra Prosper from the University of Notre Dame.
Cassandra Prosper is heading to the WNBA.
My goals have always been, get to the W, and now I got to figure out, other goals now that I'm here.
At 17, the Montreal-born basketball star moved to Ottawa to take her game to the next level, enrolling in Capitol Courts Academy and playing for Corrine Wilson Secondary School.
They had a great Capitol Courts Academy that was going to be able to challenge me, and I was going to be able to grow as a player.
Her coaches saw something special early on.
Cass is successful in the classroom and was successful on the floor. So there was no doubt in my mind that she will be getting to her dream.
From Ottawa, Prosper enrolled early at the University of Notre Dame. She also represented Canada on the Olympic stage in 2024. After a breakout senior year with the Fighting Irish, Prosper decided to forego her final year of college to enter the WNBA draft.
Making that decision for myself, I was like, this is my last year in college, and I want to finish college in a way that I'm proud of and in a way that I know I gave my everything to my training. And then that summer, I got a mental coach, but I also went and trained in LA with my brother for 2 weeks.
And basketball runs deep in the family. Her brother, Omax Olivia Maxence Prosper, plays for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Prosper's three is through.
Along with the family on draft day, Coach Fab, who helped shape her career, also living her dream.
This was the script she was writing right now with the chapter that she had with us. And she was going to continue chapter 2 at Notre Dame. And next thing you know, when she gave me a call saying, hey, Coach Fab, do you want to come to the draft? And I'm like, oh, yes, I'm coming.
And now the next chapter begins in Washington, D.C., when Prosper suits up for the Washington Mystics next month. Kimberly Fowler, CTV News.
A new study is taking a closer look at the obstacles pregnant physicians face, highlighting an increased workload and shorter parental leaves. And as CTV's Pauline Chan tells us, the findings could help in other fields as well.
I was on 3 medications for nausea, showing up to work, operating.
Hennicumber River obstetrician Dr. Lynn Sterling worked during both of her pregnancies.
I was working until the day before. My first delivery, I was literally in the operating room the day before. And then the second time around, I stopped work about 10 days before the birth.
And a new study shows many pregnant physicians, including Sterling, increase their workload in the first 2 trimesters, easing back only in the 3rd trimester.
The study looked at the work activity of almost 4,000 doctors who experienced almost 6,000 pregnancies.
Overall, physicians took short parental leaves, with surgeons returning the earliest, around 19 weeks after delivery. The longest parental leaves didn't really exceed 8 months. Most people in Canada who take parental leave take a minimum of 9 to 12 months. So this is shorter than most Canadians.
Medicine has a bit of a culture of pushing through. Right.
Sterling says the most challenging part of working while pregnant was the 24-hour on-call shifts a few times a month.
It is physically demanding. You're on your feet. You don't know when your break is. You don't know when you get to rest. It's also very technically demanding with your hands, your body, your ability to safely get a baby out in an emergency is just critical.
Dr. Andrea Simpson, who has worked through 3 parental leaves, says it's a systemic problem in which there's little wiggle room.
Quite frankly, there aren't enough physicians to fill the gaps when a physician goes on leave. So I think it points to opportunities from a population planning standpoint. When we're thinking about doctor supply, about half of physicians practicing in Canada are women. And we have to anticipate that at some point they will be taking parental leaves. And how are we going to ensure adequate supply to sustain patient care?
Gradual returns to work and better lactation facilities are just some of the things that could help. And while her study looked at a particular group of working women, she believes some of the findings can apply to other fields in which women are a growing part of the workforce. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
You're going to have a gun range, you're going to have classrooms, dynamic simulation labs.
Still to come, a new police college set to be built here in Ottawa. Details right after this.
You're watching CTV News at 5 with Stefan Keys.
Welcome back. The Ottawa Police Service is looking for somewhere to train new recruits after Algonquin College told them they can no longer use spaces at that school. The plan is to build a training center in Barrhaven, but it will cost more than $200 million. The facility would be located at 3505 Prince of Wales Drive, directly beside the new Barrhaven Police Station. CTV's Dylan Dyson has details.
This site, almost 16 acres in size, could be home to the Ottawa Police Service's new South End campus and training facility.
There are a number of facilities being used throughout the city, and they're scattered, and it's inefficient training for the police service. So the idea is to bring training all under one roof.
A report for Monday's Police Services Board meeting recommends the approval of a $233 million professional development center at the site of the new police station in Barrhaven on Prince of Wales Drive.
You're going to have a gun range, you're going to have classrooms, dynamic simulation labs. You're going to have a place for us to do our CEW training. So all of our required CSPA training, Community Safety and Policing Act training, as well as all of our other specialty training, like our investigative training, training for our special constables.
The cost is very high, in particular because of the specialized nature of the infrastructure that would be required for the fire range, for motor vehicle training, etc.
The Ottawa Police currently have 8 training facilities scattered across the city, most notably Algonquin College's firing range. But in 2024, the college issued notice to the Ottawa Police that it could no longer use the range by March 2033.
The facilities that we're losing at Algonquin, it is disappointing. I think we had all hoped that we would have continued that relationship, and I think it did make sense, especially with the police training that the college provides.
The Ottawa Police say a new training center is vital as a critical period looms for the city's police force.
We know that we're going into, like most places, a retirement bubble where we're seeing lots of people leave. So as people leave, we need to bring them on. Bring new officers on. We also know that we're a growing city.
If approved by the board, the project will begin this spring, with construction expected to be complete in 2031. Dylan Dyson, CTV News.
When we return, table tennis going robotic, and the results suggest humans can't keep up. Stay with us. Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. The temperature holding steady at 11 degrees right now. And with a final check on the weather, here's Jackie.
We will have a sunny start to our Thursday, but temperatures are still quite cool to kick things off, 3 degrees, so you still want the jacket, but things are going to be warming up. You could peel off those layers by the time the afternoon rolls around. 15 degrees, the anticipated daytime high. 13 as we get to Friday, Saturday, back up to 15 anticipated for Sunday. But again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we are averaging very similar temperatures. It won't be until Tuesday that we could see an early forecast showing between 5 to 10 millimeters of rain.
Thank you, Jackie. And finally for us tonight, Sony has built a robotic arm that plays table tennis, and it is beating some of the pros. The robot uses 9 camera eyes positioned around the court, and it can follow a tiny logo on the ball to measure its spin. The arm has 8 joints that direct its movements. The ping pong ace is part of a scientific study on how advances in AI are making robots more agile. Sony says it is the first time one has achieved human expert level play in a commonly played sport. Technological advances, that's something. Well, that is CTV News for this Wednesday, April 22nd. CTV News continues online anytime with our digital team keeping you up to date at ctvnewsottawa.ca. You can also watch our newscast live on the CTV News app, and for news on the go, listen to News Talk Radio 580 CFRA. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for watching.